Everyone on the internet is selling you a trading strategy. The guy in the Lamborghini says it's a scalping. The Reddit thread says it's options. Your broker's newsletter says buy and hold. And that guy in the Discord server says it's some secret algo he'll share for $497. Here's what I'm going to do today that none of those people will do. I'm going to show you the data. Real, peer-reviewed, back-tested, institutional-level data on which trading strategies have actually produced the most consistent, risk-adjusted profits in the U.S. markets. Not vibes, not one lucky year, not survivorship bias, data. And at the end, I'm going to tell you the honest truth about which strategy is right for you specifically, because spoiler, it depends on your capital, your time, and your risk tolerance. Let's get into it. Section 1. Setting the ground rules. Before we rank strategies, we need to agree on what profitable actually means. Because a strategy that makes 200% in 1 year but blows up in year 2 isn't profitable. It's just lucky. The metrics we care about are annualized return, how much does it make per year on average? Sharpe ratio, how much return do you get per unit of risk? Anything above 1.0 is solid. Above 2.0 is exceptional. Maximum drawdown. What's the worst loss from peak to trough you'd have to stomach? Win rate versus risk reward. You can be profitable with the 40% win rate if your winners are 3 times your losers. Scalability. Can you run this strategy with $10,000? With $1 million? Or does it fall apart at scale? We're looking at 5 major strategy categories used by retail and institutional traders in the U.S. 1. Trend following 2. Mean reversion 3. Momentum investing 4. Options selling, theta decay 5. Buy and hold with a strategic rebalancing. Let's break each one down. Section 2. Trend following. Trend following is one of the oldest and most battle-tested strategies in the book. The core idea is simple. Assets that are going up tend to keep going up. Assets going down tend to keep going down. You ride the wave. In practice, this means buying when price breaks above a key moving average, say the 50-day or 200-day, and selling when it crosses back below. Or using breakout systems, buy when price hits a new 52-week high, exit when it pulls back a certain percentage. Does it work? Yes. And the research backs this up. A QR Capital Management, one of the largest quant hedge funds in the world, published decades of research showing that trend-following strategies, what they call time series momentum, have produced positive returns across stocks, bonds, commodities, and currencies going back over 100 years. The catch? Trend following has a low win rate, typically 35% to 45%. Most of your trades will be losers, but the winners are massive. A few big trends per year carry all the weight. This is psychologically brutal for most people. You will take loss after loss and then need the discipline to stay in the strategy long enough for the big move to happen. Best suited for patient traders with capital of $25,000 plus. Those who can tolerate long drawdown periods, sometimes 12 to 18 months. People who can automate or systematize their entries and exits. Typical annual return, back-tested, 10% to 18% depending on the instrument and parameters. Sharpe ratio, 0.5 to 0.8 for basic systems. Higher for multi-asset trend funds. Max drawdown can be significant, 20% to 35% in bad years. Section 3, mean reversion. Mean reversion is the opposite philosophy. Instead of buying breakouts, you're buying weakness and selling a strength, betting that extreme price moves will snap back to average. Think of it like a rubber band. The further you stretch it, the harder it snaps back. When a stock drops 15% in 3 days with no fundamental news, a mean reversion trader sees an opportunity. Common tools: RSI below 30, price outside the lower Bollinger Band, a stock down 3+ standard deviations from its moving average. Does it work? In equities, especially in U.S. markets, yes, very well. Especially in the short term, studies from Larry Connors, whose firm published the famous RSI2 strategy research, showed that buying S&P 500 stocks when their 2-day RSI dropped below 10 produced average 3-day returns of over 1%, done hundreds of times per year. That compounds aggressively. The problem? Mean reversion strategies can get destroyed in trending markets, and particularly in crashes. If the market drops 40% and you keep buying the dip, you run out of capital before the rubber band snaps back. Best suited for active traders who monitor positions daily, those trading liquid, large cap US equities or ETFs like SPY, QQQ, traders with strict position sizing and the stop-loss rules. Typical annual return, 12% to 25% in favorable conditions. Sharpe ratio, often 1.0 to 1.5, one of the higher Sharpe strategies in this list. Max drawdown, moderate in normal markets, severe in crisis years. Section 4, momentum investing. Momentum is different from trend following, though they are related. Momentum investing is typically done on a monthly or quarterly basis. You rank all stocks in the S&P 500 by their 12-month return, minus the last month, to avoid short-term reversal effects, and buy the top 10% to 20%. Rebalance monthly or quarterly. Repeat. This is a Nobel Prize-winning anomaly. Eugene Fama and Kenneth French identified momentum as one of the few durable market factors. It's been studied to death. It works. Not every year, but over long periods, the momentum factor has outperformed the market by 3 to 5% annually. And here's the thing. It's used by the biggest money in the world. Dimensional Fund Advisors, AQR, and dozens of other institutional quant shops run momentum-based strategies managing hundreds of billions of dollars. The risk? Momentum crashes hard and fast. In 2009, when the market rebounded after the financial crisis, momentum strategies got obliterated because the worst performing stocks, which momentum had you short, suddenly skyrocketed. These momentum crashes can wipe out years of gains in weeks. Best suited for investors comfortable with a rules-based, systematic approach, those with a multi-year time horizon, people willing to hold 20 to 50 stocks rather than a concentrated portfolio. Typical annual outperformance versus S&P 500, 3 to 6% annualized over long periods. Sharpe ratio, 0.4 to 0.7 for pure momentum. Improves when combined with other factors. Max drawdown, comparable to market with risk of sharp momentum crashes. Section 5, options selling. The theta game. Now here's the strategy that's absolutely exploded in popularity among the retail traders over the last 5 years, selling options for premium. The core concept, options are insurance. When you sell a put or a call, you collect premium up front. Over time, specifically over the life of the contract, that premium decays due to time, theta decay. If the stock doesn't hit your strike price, you keep the entire premium. You are the insurance company, not the customer. Popular structures include cash-secured puts, sell a put below the current price, collect premium. Worst case is you buy the stock at a discount. Covered calls, sell calls against stock you already own to generate income. Iron condors, sell both a put a spread and a call a spread simultaneously. Profit if the stock stays in a range. The wheel strategy, systematically selling puts until assigned, then selling covered calls. Repeat. Does it actually work? The data is compelling. Studies have shown that implied volatility consistently overestimates actual realized volatility in U.S. markets. This means options are systematically overpriced, and sellers collect this overpricing as an edge over time. The CBOE's own research showed that a strategy of systematically selling monthly put options on the S&P 500, the PUT index, outperformed the S&P 500 itself from 1986 to 2023 with lower volatility. However, this strategy can blow up catastrophically if you're not careful. Selling naked options without proper risk management is how retail traders lose their entire accounts in a single bad day. March 2020, August 2015. These events happened. You need defined risk structures or strict stop losses. Best suited for traders with $10,000 to $50,000 plus in a margin-enabled brokerage account, those who understand options mechanics deeply, income seekers who want monthly cash flow. Typical annual return 15% to 30% in low volatility environments with proper risk management. Sharpe ratio, among the highest of any retail strategy, 1.5 to 2.5 plus when done well. Max drawdown can be catastrophic if undisciplined, manageable with defined risk. Section 6, buy and hold with strategic rebalancing. I know what you're thinking. That's boring. Stay with me. Buy and hold, specifically a diversified portfolio of low-cost index funds rebalanced annually, is the single strategy that the most millionaires in America have used to build wealth. Not options, not scalping, index funds. The numbers are staggering. The S&P 500 has returned approximately 10.5% per year on average since 1957, including every crash, recession, and crisis. Over 90% of active fund managers underperform the S&P 500 over 15-plus year periods. Adding a small tilt toward factors, value, momentum, small cap, can boost returns by 1% to 3% annually with minimal additional effort. The strategic part matters. This doesn't mean just buying and forgetting forever. It means annual rebalancing, sell what went up, buy what went down, forces you to buy low. Tax loss harvesting to reduce your tax drag. Potentially tilting your portfolio toward factor premiums. Small cap value has historically outperformed by 2% to 4% annually. This is the strategy with the highest probability of working for the most people over the longest time horizon. Best suited for anyone. Every investor should have a core of this. Long-term wealth builders with a 10 to 30 plus year horizon. Those who don't want to spend hours per week managing trades. Typical annual return 10% to 13% with factor tilts. Sharpe ratio 0.4 to 0.6, lower than active strategies but far more reliable long-term. Max drawdown, market level, you will see minus 30% to minus 50% in major crashes, but you recover. Section 7, the verdict, which is actually the best? All right, you've been patient. Here's the honest answer. There is no single best strategy, but there is a best strategy for each type of trader. Here's the breakdown. If you have less than $10,000, start with buy and hold in a tax-advantaged account, Roth IRA 401k. Learn options theory on paper before risking real money. Do not scalp. Do not day trade. The math doesn't work at small account sizes when you factor in commissions, spreads, and the learning curve. If you have $10,000 to $50,000 and 5 to 10 hours per week, options selling via cash-secured puts and covered calls is your highest probability active strategy. The wheel strategy run on high-quality U.S. stocks or ETFs has a documented edge in this capital range. Learn it properly before deploying real capital. If you have $50,000 to $250,000 and want a systematic approach, combine a core buy and hold index portfolio, 60 to 70% of capital, with a rules-based momentum or trend-following overlay, 20 to 30%. This gives you market exposure with an active kicker. Rebalance quarterly. Keep costs low. If you have $250,000 plus and institutional grade discipline, you can layer in multi-strategy approaches, running mean reversion systems on equities, trend following on futures and options income simultaneously. Diversification across strategies is as powerful as diversification across assets. The single highest Sharpe, most consistently profitable strategy for retail traders with appropriate capital? Based on the research, systematic options selling with defined risk run on liquid US ETFs. The edge is real, the returns are consistent, and the risk is manageable if you do it correctly. Section 8, the psychology factor. Here's what the data can't fully capture. The best strategy is the one you can actually execute. A trend-following system with a 40% win rate will produce incredible results over 10 years. But you have to survive the psychological torture of losing the majority of your trades. Most people can't do it. They abandon the system right before the big trend hits. Options selling can generate 20% plus annual returns, but the first time you see your account down $15,000 in a week because volatility spiked, will you hold? Or will you panic close and lock in the loss? The research on this is clear. Behavior gap, the difference between what a strategy returns and what the average investor actually earns, costs the average U.S. investor 1.5% to 2% per year. They chase returns. They panic sell. They overtrade. Your edge isn't just in your strategy. It's in your ability to stay in the chair, follow the rules, and trust the process. So here's what I want you to walk away with. 1. Trend following, momentum, mean reversion, options selling, and buy and hold all work. The data proves it. None of them work all the time. 2. For most retail traders in the U.S., systematic options selling on ETFs and a core index portfolio is the highest probability path to consistent risk-adjusted returns. 3. The strategy you pick matters less than your discipline, your risk management, and your ability to stay consistent over years, not days. If you found this valuable, drop a comment below telling me which strategy you're using or want to learn more about. I read every comment. If you want a deep dive video on any one of these strategies, the exact entry rules, position sizing, and tools, let me know and I'll build it out. Subscribe if you haven't. And I'll see you in the next one.